under Donald Trump, the United States is now officially being declared a national security threat to Denmark. A Denmark intelligence agency in their official annual report is calling the United States a threat to Denmark's sovereignty, a threat to the sovereignty of Greenland, which is a territory within the Kingdom of Denmark. As we're learning about Denmark declaring Trump's United States right now, unfortunately, as a security threat, we have the Trump regime also attacking the International Criminal Court, and they are demanding that the charter for the International Criminal Court be amended immediately to prohibit any war crimes investigations into Donald Trump or Hegseth as a result of the conduct that they are engaged in right now. Donald Trump says he will sanction and attack the International Criminal Court if they don't amend their charter to say that Trump and his war criminals in his cabinet get absolute immunity. And Donald Trump is also saying that the International Criminal Court needs to drop all investigations and all claims against Netanyahu as well. Or Trump says he will further attack the International Criminal Court, go after their judges, go after their prosecutors, and try to ruin their lives in the United States of America. Let's just break down everything that's happening. So today, this Danish intelligence report was released as reported by Bloomberg, but we've got a copy of the report here as well. And the intelligence agency for the first time describes the United States as a potential security threat alongside China, alongside Russia, signaling a shift in the Nordic country's view of its former close ally as a result of the attacks on its sovereignty. So this intelligence agency, known as the Danish Defense Intelligence Service, one of the key espionage agencies in the Nordic nation, says the U.S. is increasingly prioritizing its own interests and using economic and technological strength as a tool of power against allies and partners. This is what they've put in their 2025 intelligence outlook. And you've seen the 2025 national security strategy by the Trump regime, which says that it is now formal United States policy to support any far right-wing extremist groups that want to destroy the European Union. The United States wants to destroy NATO as a permanent organization and even the perception of NATO as a permanent standing and expanding organization. And it is official United States policy to stop the European Union from existing and to divide and to do regime change in Europe. And so now we're hearing from European nations and Nordic nations in Europe as well regarding their response, essentially saying the United States is a risk to our sovereignty. The report by this Danish intelligence security service also says that the U.S.'s growing interest in Greenland, a territory of the Danish kingdom, as a result of heightened great power rivalry in the Arctic, poses a threat, and this is part of their annual threat assessment. It should be noted that one of the main deputies, the leader essentially of the far right-wing extremist pro-Putin party in Germany, the AfD, they are getting a red carpet welcome here in the United States by Donald Trump's New York Republican Party's annual convention. AfD is going to be the keynote speaker, and we know that the Trump regime is propping up the AfD, propping up the Reform Party in the UK, propping up Le Pen's party in France. If there are these Putin puppets that Donald Trump can control, he can try to deliver Putin's dream, which is a end of the European Union, an end of NATO, and a Europe in total dysfunction. Should be noted as well, MAGA Republican Congress members like Anna Paulina Luna are spending time in the Russian embassy right now, hanging out with the Russian ambassadors and essentially, in my opinion, doing Putin's bidding. Now, while this Danish threat assessment's released, here's what Reuters reported, a great scoop by their international team. The Trump regime wants the International Criminal Court to amend its founding document and commit to not investigating Donald Trump and his top officials, an administration official told Reuters, adding that this ask has been made known to courts and allies. If the ICC does not act on this U.S. demand and two others, drop investigations of Israeli leaders over Gaza, and formally end an earlier probe of U.S. troops over their actions in Afghanistan, Washington may penalize more ICC officials and can sanction the court as well. Yep. So not only is the United States not a member of the International Criminal Courts, but the U.S. is openly hostile to an entity that prosecutes war crimes and genocide. Quote, there is a growing concern that in 2029, the ICC will turn its attention to Donald Trump, to the vice president, to the Secretary of War, and others to pursue prosecutions against them. And rightfully so. They are war criminals and they deserve to be put on war tribunals. Now, a lot of other developments taking place as well that we are learning about too. We have, of course, Cambodia and Thailand. No peace there, as Donald Trump claimed. In Congo, no peace there. War is raging. War is worse right now as a result of Donald Trump's fake deals there. Here's what we're learning about from the study of war too. So it's officially Russia has gained about 0.77% of Ukrainian territory since the start of 2025, while suffering disproportionately high personnel costs. So this whole year, with all of the might that Russia's thrown at Ukraine, with North Korea helping, with China helping, with Belarus helping, with Iran helping, with the United States helping, Russia's only been able to take 0.77% of Ukrainian territory in 2025. So as Jay in Kyiv writes, at this rate, Russia would need to lose 30 million soldiers and spend over 100 years to occupy Ukraine. That's why they just want Donald Trump to hand them over Donbass. They'll take Donbass, 30% of that territory they haven't been able to take over by force. And what do you think they're going to do once they take Donbass? They're going to keep going. They just want Donald Trump to hand him over that additional territory. As Gary Gasparov writes, as always, Trump pressures and insults Zelensky and Ukraine, the victim of Russian aggression, who have courageously defended their territory and sovereignty. For the genocidal invader, only concession and business deals. This, as Axios reports, that Donald Trump's envoys, his son-in-law, Jared Kushner, and his real estate buddy, Steve Witkoff, both who have no foreign policy experience before being involved in this corrupt Trump regime, and Kushner in the first one, Trump envoys, Kushner and Witkoff, demand that Zelensky consent to cede Ukrainian territory, all of Donbass, during a December 6th call. So they met with Putin in Moscow, Kushner and Witkoff did, and the 28-point surrender deal actually got worse after meeting with Putin. And they said, give us Zaporizhzhia, give us all of Donbass, all of eastern Ukraine, just give it over right now. You have no choice, Zelensky, or we're going after you, essentially. And that's when you saw Zelensky go meet with Starmer, the Prime Minister of the UK, meet with Macron, the President of France, meet with Friedrich Merz, the Chancellor of Germany. And then that meeting took place in the UK. Then there was the meeting that took place, with the Secretary General of NATO and the European Union President von der Leyen. Just take a look here at this chart. The Kiel Institute for World Economy published an update to its Ukraine support tracker. You see, since Trump's taken office, America's provided zero support to Ukraine, and Europe's provided all of the support to Ukraine. Let's just hear from John Bolton, Donald Trump's former national security advisor. He talks about how Donald Trump never read any of the national security strategy reports at all, wouldn't look at them, and certainly didn't look at this one. And this one calls for United States being openly hostile with NATO, openly hostile with Europe, and to be pro the Putin puppet parties in Europe to help divide Europe. And also it talks about spheres of influence in the national security report. And the U.S. says, okay, all of Europe, that's Russia's sphere of influence. All of Asia, that's China's sphere of influence. The Western Hemisphere is the US sphere of influence, and everything else are the vassal countries of the main poles, China, US, and Russia. So Europe belongs to Russia, basically is what Trump's saying. Japan, Taiwan belongs to China, and Canada, South America, Mexico belongs to the US. And Donald Trump, we're seeing today also, big development just happening right now as I'm recording this. The United States military just seized a Venezuelan oil ship, which they say is a sanctioned oil ship. This oil cargo ship has just been seized as a major escalation. Let me just show you what Bolton said. Let's play this clip.
Trump's 2 terms, I think, though, are different from all the previous models. I can tell you the strategy written in Trump's first term was done before I arrived on the scene, so I'm not taking credit for it. It was a very good strategy. It reflected, I think, a lot of careful thinking, and I can tell you that Trump never read it, didn't care about it, never consulted it, and in my view, it was a great document that just gathers dust on the shelves. I would predict with near total certainty he hasn't read this national security strategy. He signed an introduction to it. I doubt he read the introduction. He doesn't care about it anyway. He doesn't have a philosophy. He doesn't himself have a design for American national security. He doesn't really even particularly do policy the way we understand that term in Washington. And that's why the ramifications of Trump's approach are so dangerous. As Ben described what's happened to NATO, Trump doesn't understand NATO. He doesn't understand alliances. Trump's view is that the United States defends Europe, we get nothing out of it, and they don't pay for it. Now, if I thought that's the way NATO worked, I wouldn't be in favor of NATO either, but that's not what a collective defense alliance is. And it's exactly correct.
There you have it, folks. Let me know what you think. A lot of developments here. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 6 million. Thank you so much for watching.
Love this video? Support independent media and unlock exclusive content, ad-free videos, and custom emojis by becoming a paid member of our YouTube channel today. You can also gift memberships to others. Let's keep growing together.